Good morning. We are all exhausted from all the walking we had to do yesterday. Yesterday was so hilly, man. We were going up and down hills, up and down hills, up and down hills. That's why I was so puffed in the videos. Anyway, I wanted to do this video because I did a little bit of investigating. Remember yesterday when I said to you I could hear that song, Oranges and Lemons, Ring the Bells of St. Clements? That one? Well, I did a little bit of digging, and the origins of that nursery rhyme are from, the song is from 1744, but they actually think that the dance itself is from around about 1650. There is evidence to suggest that it is from, the medieval times, because it actually dates back to the Germans and the Swedes. Now, remember, I kept saying to you, I was seeing like Nordic Scandinavian, there was a big strong Nordic Scandinavian feel. Well, the maypole as well. Remember, I kept saying about the maypole, I could see a maypole. The Swedish and the Germans, the children, the virgin children would do, on the 1st of May, they would do the maypole dance with the ribbon, and it was, as we know, like a fertility ritual. The virgins would come and they would do the fertility ritual in order to do, like for a bountiful harvest for their crops and things like that. But it was also so that the women, the newly married couples and that would have luck in getting pregnant in their first year and stuff like that. Now, the thing is, the second line in it is, you owe me 5 farthings, say the bells of St. Martin's. Now, remember, the church there was called St. Martin's, and I had said to you, I kept hearing the name Martin, but I didn't record it, and I was kicking myself because the church ended up being called St. Martin's. So that ties into the nursery rhyme. Now, the interesting thing is, that nursery rhyme is about the churches of London and the oranges and lemons that would come into port. The children and the sailors and that were given oranges and lemons to eat to boost their immune system, to stop them from getting things like scurvy. But also as well because they started realising that because it made you better, it helped you fight off things like colds and plagues and things like that, which also ties into where we were yesterday. It was a nursery rhyme. It was a dance that was brought back, brought to Britain when the invasion came. And the true meaning behind the maypole with the strapping of the ribbon, it's actually a binding ritual. It's practiced a lot today with Wiccans and pagans, but it's actually a binding ritual because they would use like an actual tree. They'd strip the bark off the tree to make the tree pure, and then they'd tie the ribbon and garnish it with flowers and stuff and use the virgin children, because it was said that when they sung and interwove the ribbons by ducking in and out of each other, which is what you do on the oranges and lemons dance, you'd have 2 people standing holding their hands in an arch, and the children would go under the arch and pop their head up in between the hands of the 2 people, holding their hands together in an arch. And then they would decide, the 2 people holding their hands in an arch, when the child popped their head up, whether they were going to get their head chopped off or not. Which is also, if you remember, I had discovered, when I knew there was a whole lot of occult stuff that went on there, I had discovered that they had those 10 bodies where they had their heads chopped off. So that nursery rhyme that I was singing had more of a meaning than what I thought it did. And I think the children there were trying to let me know through that song of all the things that went on in that Wharram Percy village. because the traditional meaning, the ancient meaning, the reason why you garland a tree, why you put the ribbons around the tree, because ribbons are made of silk, and silk is like the silkworm. It's supposed to be one of the, next to cobwebs and that, it's supposed to be one of the strongest natural fibres on earth. And when you string it around the tree, it's supposed to be generally a fir tree or an oak tree. I don't know about other faiths, but with mine it's a fir tree or an oak tree, because they're of fertility and family and genealogy. Like oak trees basically represent like your genealogy, your family history. When you plant that oak tree, it's going to carry the future ancestry into the future with you. It carries your bloodline into the future. That's what the oak tree means. And obviously the fir tree is the end of one year, the start of the new. That's why we have it as a Christmas tree, because as the what do you call it, not the leaves of the fir tree, what are they called, the pokey thing, I can't think, when the fir tree wilts, we have it as a Christmas tree because it's marking the end of the year, out with the old, in with the new. So when they bind the ribbon around the tree, because they're virgin children and they're soon to be married brides about to lose their virginity, and things like that, it's said to lure the devil in. It lures, I won't say Satan, they say Satan, but we know Satan not to be a bad person. So it's said to lure the devil in, and he gets trapped in the binding of the ribbon, when you do a binding ritual. So the devil comes because he's lured by the tempting young virgin maidens, and he gets bound by the ribbon that they're wrapping around the tree. It's the reason why brides, when they get married, wear veils, and why the bridesmaids go first, because the bridesmaids are there to tempt the devil away from the virgin bride, who is seen as the prize. So the bride wears the veil to disguise herself so that the devil can't recognise her, and the bridesmaids go first to be like the lure for the devil's lust, so to speak. So I thought that was really interesting, because I wanted to know why I was seeing all that stuff. And now that nursery rhyme, I truly believe it was the children trying to tell me through that one little nursery rhyme everything that had gone on that I was about to discover once I got there. So I thought that was really interesting, and I just had to share it, because they've been doing maypole dances here since the 18th century, but it dates back to at least the 16th, 17th century. The dance itself may even be earlier than that, and I just thought it was really interesting, and I thought I'd share with you the the Wick version. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm a little bit discombobulated still, because it does take me a couple of days to recover from these jumps that I have. But my legs are killing me, because we were walking up and down, up and down, up and down. We're all exhausted. So I thought I had to share that. And now everything makes sense.